Okay, so what I'm going to propose, Michael, is I'm going to show the homework first and give the homework to whoever decides to enter the program can do the homework. Okay, but I'll show the homework. So I'm going to introduce it with the homework. First, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Joel. I'm an MBA. I worked in industry for many years in the financial industry, various banks, and I've taught. I teach English, and I've been teaching this program, Economist magazine, Time magazine. It's been quite interesting, I think, and the students seem to enjoy it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce this article first. I think this is a good article to start with because this time of the year, a lot of the students, of course, are going back to university, and the younger ones are going to school, to high school, to elementary school. So this article is called The Absent Student. It talks about how the world has changed because of COVID-19. A lot of people have to work online. They can't go back to school. Some people, I know many of you are working online for half a day and in class for half a day. The world has changed. So this article discusses mainly from a university standpoint, but I think you can all relate to a lot of this because it's relatable to all ages. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show the homework, and then we're going to discuss the article. So here's the homework questions. And you guys, you may know some of the answers to this, you may not, but after the end of the article, hopefully you'll know all the answers. So it's called The Absent Student. Number one, traditionally there was a triumph of globalization. So pre-COVID, this would be the time of the year when airports were full of students going off to university. What were the advantages of this for students and universities? So there were certainly advantages for people going across the world to other universities. Number two, why is COVID-19 disastrous for universities? So the article talks about that, how COVID-19 has impacted universities. Three, what are some of the things that governments are saying against university education? So there's certain governments that are not keen on having university education the way it is. And that's discussed in the article. Four, what does the article say are 3 reasons that students want the university experience? So there's 3 specific reasons that are mentioned in the article. And number 5, when I give you the homework, there's usually 5 questions. 4 of them are kind of right from the article, and the 5th one may be partially from the article, but it's me asking for your opinion. What does the article state could be one of the main advantages in the future for universities to offer online training? And the key thing is, what do you think of the future of online training? Okay, so those are the questions. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the article. The article is called The Absent Student. And what my program is I go through, show you the article, and then I have one person read a paragraph, and then I highlight some of the words or some of the concepts. And then what I'll do is the person that's reading that article, that paragraph, I'll ask them to explain some of the words. If I think the word you might not know, I might just explain it myself. But if I think it's a word you may know, I'll ask you to explain the word. And that's the way we do it. So let me get the article out. We'll share the screen. Now I can't see all of you at this point, so I'm gonna ask people who I can see. So Will, I can see you. So I'm gonna ask you to go first. Let me just annotate some of these. I'm gonna try to, what I like to do is I like to highlight some of the words. Okay, so it's called The Absent Student. COVID-19 will be painful in universities, but it will also bring long needed changes. Okay, so Will, if you could read the first paragraph in the normal.
No problem. In the normal run of things, late summer sees airport in emerging world filled with nervous 18-year-olds jetting off to begin a new life in the rich world university. The annual trek of more than 5 million students is triumph of globalization. Students see the world. University get a fresh batch of high-paying customers, yet with flights grounded and borders closed. This migration is about to become the pandemic latest victim.
Right. Okay. So the annual trek. What is a trek, Will? You know what a trek is?
No, I don't know what a trek
So a
is.
trek, and that's fine. If you don't know, just say you don't know and I'll explain it. That's okay. So the annual trek, usually a trek is, if you take a hiking trip and you go up a mountain, that would be a trek. Well, this is another kind of trek. It's the trek, it's the students going to often another country to university. So it's their annual trek. It's a triumph of globalization. Do you know what a triumph is, Will? Triumph of globalization.
I think it's like a lot of students for like a lot going to the country.
Well, triumph, if you're a basketball fan, for example, the Raptors won yesterday. So that was a triumph. It's like a victory. It's something good. So a triumph of globalization means something successful. We like to have globalization, people going from different countries to other countries. That's how we learn. Students going from Canada to the US or to different countries, people from China coming into Canada University. That's globalization. It's a triumph, it's success of globalization. But of course, this year, that's been a challenge because a lot of people can't make the trip to other countries for university. Students, what is the advantage of it, of coming to different countries? Two advantages. Students see the world, and universities get a fresh batch of high-paying customers. So all the students coming in, let's say the students coming from the US or from China to Canada, that's good for the universities. They get revenue, they get money from this fresh batch of high-paying customers. This year, though, the flights are grounded. The flights aren't coming. The borders are closed. Migration is about to become the pandemic's latest victim. So migration means the movement of people from one country to another. In this case, the students coming from one country to another for education is the pandemic's latest victim. So because of COVID. Okay, so thanks, Will. Okay, how about Jessica? Can you read the next paragraph, Jessica?
Joel, Jessica is my new employee, no.
Oh, okay, Jessica. All right.
Yeah.
Then we'll skip Jessica. How about Barbara?
Barbara is a parent.
A parent, okay. How about Lyria?
Lyra is good.
Lyria, okay. Lyrica, for students.
For students, COVID-19 is making life difficult. Many must choose between
Inconveniently
timed seminars streamed into the parents' living room and deferring their studies until life is more normal. For universities, it is
disastrous.
They will not only lose huge chunks of from foreign students, but because children's life spreads infection, they will have to transform the way they are perceived.
Okay. So if something is inconvenient, Lyria, what does that mean if something is inconvenient? Do you know?
I don't know.
So if something is convenient, it means not convenient. It means not good. So in this case, students have to choose between inconveniently timed seminars. So the courses, the seminars, are not at a good time. They're being streamed into the parents' living room. That's inconvenient, but it's also inconvenient to defer, to delay their studies until life is normal. So it's a challenge that university students have. Do they stream it into their house, or do they defer their studies until life is normal? It's a challenge. It's a disastrous. For universities, it's disastrous. You know what that means? Something, Lyria, if something is disastrous? Disastrous means it's bad, it's terrible, it's a disaster for them. It's bad for the universities. Why? They're going to lose chunks of revenue, a lot of revenue from foreign students, so students that come from other countries. and campus life would spread infection. So there's a big risk if there's COVID-19 on a campus. We've probably heard about a lot of campuses where COVID-19 has come and they've had to close it down. So it's a risk for the universities. They have to transform, they have to change the way they operate. So COVID-19 has certainly changed things the way they are. Okay, thanks for reading, Lyria. Now I can't see everyone on screen, so let's go. Daniel, are you there? No, Daniel? How about Michelle? Barbara? Barbara, can you unmute and read?
Barbara is a
sorry,
parent too.
not Barbara. Sorry.
No, Barbara. Yeah.
How about Jerry and Sarah?
Yeah, I think Jerry is ready.
Jerry, okay. Jerry, can you read?
There are two Jerrys, eh? Two Jerrys.
Oh, is there two Jerrys? Oh, there is. So the Jerry and Sarah team.
Yet the disaster may have an upside. For many years, government subsidies and booming demand have allowed universities to resist changes that could benefit both students and society. They may not be able to do so for much longer.
Okay, so do you know what a subsidy is, Jerry?
Not really.
So if you subsidize something, it means you're giving money. So for many years, government subsidies, the government giving money to the universities, as well as booming demand, that means high demand, have allowed universities to resist changes. So they could just keep going on as long as they could with the world as it was. But they may not be able to do so for much longer. The world has changed because of COVID. So they're going to have to change. Okay, thanks, Jerry. How about Sarah, your sister, while you're there? Can you read the next one? Higher education?
Higher education have been striving since 1995 as the notion spread from the rich world to the emerging one that a 4 degree from a good institution. Institution was essential. The number of young people enrolling into higher education rose from 16% of the relevant age group to 38%. The result have been visible on swanky campus throughout the
Anglosphere,
whose better universities have been the principal beneficiaries of the emerging world aspirations.
Okay, you got a few challenging words in there, Sarah, so let me help you with them, okay? Let's see which ones you know. Higher education has been thriving. What does that mean if it's thriving, Sarah?
I think it's been like spiking up.
It's been spiking, it's been doing well. For years, higher education has been a good thing. It's been doing well, okay? The notion spread from the rich world to the emerging one that a degree from a good institution, what's an institution?
Not sure.
Institution would be like a college or a university is a form of an institution. So a degree from a college or a university institution was essential. What does that mean if it's essential?
Like you need it, I think.
You need it, right. It's important. People always felt it's important to have a good university education. So these results have been visible on swanky campuses. That means fancy campuses.
Oh, okay.
Throughout the Anglosphere, now that's generally the English world, like US, Canada, Britain, because there's a lot of good universities there. They've been the principal beneficiaries. So beneficiaries means they gained from it. They gained from the fact that people wanted to go to universities, so you're the beneficiary. Beneficiary means you got a benefit from it. So you're a beneficiary of the emerging world's aspirations. Do you know what an aspiration is, Sarah?
Oh.
Aspirations means something you aspire for. So if you aspire what do you aspire for in life, Sarah? Do you want to be a doctor or a lawyer? What do you aspire for?
A musician.
A musician. Okay. So you aspire to be a musician, so you have aspirations to be a musician. So you might decide to go to university and take a musician course or music degree, and that will fulfill your dream, your aspiration to be a musician. So here it's saying universities have been fulfilling the dreams of a lot of people, a lot of their aspirations. They want to go to university to fill their dreams, whether it's to be a musician or whatever they want to be. Okay, thanks, Sarah. How about Jereme? Am I pronouncing your name right? Jereme? Jereme?
It's Jeremy.
Oh, it's a Jeremy. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I usually see Jeremy with a Y. Okay, you fooled me. Okay, Jeremy with an E. Yet troubles are piling up.
Yet troubles are piling up. China has been a source of high-paying foreign students for Western universities, but relations between the West and China are souring. Students with ties to the army are to be banned from America.
Okay, so troubles are piling up for the universities in Canada and the US. It's more difficult because of COVID. China has been a source of high-paying foreign students. So a lot of students from China were coming to Canada and the US, and that helped the revenue for these universities. But there's been challenges because the relations between the West and China are souring. What does that mean by souring?
Like tensions growing and they're growing more hostile.
That's right, they're souring. So you think of milk gets sour, so the tensions, they're souring, the relations aren't as good. And students with ties to the army are banned. Do you know what that means if you ban something?
Yeah, it means that they're not allowed to be, so like students with ties to the army can't go to America anymore.
Right. So when you ban something, it means you prevent something from happening. That's right. Okay. So that's the challenges right now, mainly because of COVID, but other reasons as well. Okay, so thanks, Jeremy. Pang Pang. Can you read the next paragraph? Did you unmute, Pang Pang? Governments? Pang Pang, not there? Okay, how about,
Oh, here.
you're here?
Yes.
Okay, governments.
Wait, where is it?
Governments, all highlighted.
Okay.
Governments have been turning.
Governments have been turning against universities too, in an age when politics divides along educational lines. University struggles to persuade some politicians of their merit. President Donald Trump attacks them for radical left
Indoctrination.
indoctrination, not education. Some 59% Republican voters have a negative view of colleges. Just 18% of Democrats do. In Britain universities, noisy opposition to Brexit has not helped, given that he states pay for between the quarter and half to tertiary education in America. Australia and Britain, through student loan and grants. Politicians is not the only spike. Governments invest in higher education to boost productivity by increasing human capital. But even as universities have boomed,
Okay, hold on. Let's just do the one paragraph, okay? So governments have been turning against universities. So they've been going against universities in some cases. They call them struggle to persuade politicians of their merit. What does that mean, merit? Pang Pang? You know what merit is?
no, I do not know.
That's okay. I'll tell you. It means their value. So some politicians are not persuaded. The universities are struggling to persuade politicians of their merit because some politicians don't really understand the value. One example is President Trump. In the US, he attacks them for radical left indoctrination. He's saying the universities aren't teaching the right thing. They're teaching leftist views, not education.
What does doctrination mean?
Okay, good. I'm glad you asked questions. If you're not clear, I encourage you to ask questions. Indoctrination means if you're training people in views that maybe aren't typical views, you're indoctrinating people into views that aren't the typical kind of views. So that's what President Trump thinks. He thinks they're trying to train people in leftist views, indoctrinating. So if somebody's explaining something to you and it's not the normal thing, they're trying to indoctrinate you. They're trying to train you into something that is not the typical things that they should be educating. Good. I encourage you. Thanks for asking that question, Peng. If I don't explain a word and you want an explanation, please don't hesitate to ask me. Good. Brexit. Do you know what Brexit is?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Brexit is a movement that England, Great Britain had to exit Europe, the European Union. There was a lot of opposition to Brexit. Okay. And there was, in Britain, the universities had an opposition to Brexit. That didn't help the views of universities. And here it says, the state pays for 1.25% of tertiary education. That means other education. Okay, let me stop the share here for a second. I want to get a view of who's there. Okay, I don't see all the faces, but that's okay. All right, so let's continue. Okay, thanks, Peng Peng. Charles, is Charles Bain? Is that a student, Charles?
Yeah.
Okay, can you do the next paragraph? Skepticism.
Skepticism among politicians is not born only of spite. Governments invest in higher education to boost productivity by increasing human capital, but even as universities are boomed, productivity growth in the rich country economies has fallen. Many politicians suspect that universities are not teaching the right subjects and are producing more graduates than labor markets need. Small wonder that the state is beginning to pull back. In America, government spending on universities has been flat in recent years. In Australia, even as the price of humanities degrees double, so it will fall for subjects the government does good for growth.
Deems good for growth. Okay. Do you know what skepticism means? When you're skeptical about something, it means you're doubtful about something. You have skepticism. So a lot of the politicians are skeptical about university education. But universities have boomed. What does that mean if they boomed, Charles? What does that mean when something's boomed?
They just went like crazy, just like boomed.
Yeah, they boomed, they did well. Universities have boomed. They've done well over the years. But productivity growth has fallen. So even though the universities have boomed, some of the countries are not doing as well as they should. So some politicians think that universities just aren't teaching the right subjects. You know, the universities are teaching things, but maybe not the right subjects. So that's why some politicians are questioning whether universities need to teach different subjects. Okay? Now, in America, spending has been flat. What does that mean when you say spending has been flat, Charles?
Like,
So it means they haven't increased the spending. Spending has been flat. When something is flat, it means they haven't increased, it's flat, right? So you'd think, you know, you want to increase spending in education, but it's been flat. So in Australia, the price has doubled. So it falls for subjects the government deems good for growth. So when something is deemed good, it means you think it should be good for growth. You deem it should be good for growth. You say it should be good for growth, okay? All right. Now again, at any time, I try to explain the words that I think you guys might know, but don't hesitate. If you think there's a word you want me to explain, I will explain it, okay? I want to get through the article, but I'll always stop if you have questions, okay? All right, so let me just see who's here now. Okay. All right, so now let us go with David. David, you're a student? Are you there? Okay, I see a message. Oh, David's mic is broken. Okay, thanks for that message, David. Mic broken. Okay. And David is telling me it worked yesterday. Okay, so that's good. Message me if you have a question. So we'll go to someone else. Emma. Emma, there are questions. Emma, you there? Did you unmute, Emma?
There are
Not there?
questions.
Is that you, Emma? There are questions?
There are questions about the benefits to students. To the graduate premium is healthy enough on average for a degree. To he find that financially worthwhile, but not for everybody in Britain.
Okay, we'll move up. In Britain, the Institute.
The Institute for Financial Studies has calculated that a fifth of the graduates would be better off if they had never gone to university. In America, 4 in 10 students still do not graduate 6 years after starting with their degree. And for those who do, the wage premium is shrinking. Across the world as a whole, student enrollment continues to grow, but in America it declined by 8%. In 2010 to 2018.
Okay, so you can see across the world, student enrollment has grown. That's a good thing. But in America, it's declined. So not good, not so good for the America, not so good for the US, all right? But it's interesting, the IFS, the Institute for Fiscal Studies, has said a fifth of graduates would be better off if they hadn't gone to university. Now, sometimes people, it is better off for them not to go to university, but we know for the most part, you're going to do better in life if you do go to universities, right? Some people are successful without going to universities, but for the most part, university education is an important thing. Okay, so this was all written, that was pre-COVID. Now, COVID came along. Jessica, can you read Then Came COVID-19? Oh, Jessica, you're a teacher, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
So wrong. Okay, Jerry, the other Jerry, the one that's not the sister. Hi, that doesn't have a sister there. Jerry, I see you, Jerry.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Jerry. Can you read Then Came COVID-19?
Then came COVID-19. Although recessions tend to boost demand for higher education, as poor prospects spur people to seek qualifications, revenues may nevertheless fall. Government rules will combine with student nerves to keep numbers down. Last month, the Trump administration said new foreign students would not be allowed to enter the country if their classes have been moved online. Sydney, Melbourne, UNSW, and Monash, 4 of Australia's leading universities, rely on foreign students for a third of their income. The IFS expects losses at English universities to amount to over a quarter of 1 year's revenues.
Right. So clearly COVID is impacting the universities. Recessions sometimes boost demand for higher education, right? When it's a difficulty, when it's a recession, more people want to go and get a higher education. As poor job strikes spur people to seek qualifications, right? Right now there's poor job prospects, so people want qualifications, revenues may fall, right? And what's happening, people like the Trump administration has said he's not going to allow foreign people into the country if their courses move online. So that's a little bit unfair because a lot of people want to come back to the US to do their education, even if it's online, but he's restricting that movement, and that's going to be impact, to the universities, to their revenue, because there may be other revenue that they can get from these students, whether it's buying books or whatever, and some of this may not happen. So Trump has been very strict in this, not allowing the universities to let their students come in if the courses have moved online. Okay, all right, thanks, Jerry. Okay, Tiffany. Tiffany, are you there? The damage? Tiffany? No Tiffany? Okay, how about Will? The damage?
Okay. The damage from COVID-19 means that in the short term, at least, universities will be more dependent on government than ever. The IFS reckons that 13 universities in Britain risk going bust. Governments ought to help colleges, but should favor institutions that provide good teaching and research for benefit their community. Those that satisfy none of the criteria should be allowed to go to the wall.
Okay, so universities risk going bust. What does that mean if they go bust?
Like they have a risk of going broke.
Of going broke, correct. Okay. All right, thanks, Will. I thought there was 2 Wills, but I realize now you've read before. Okay, so let's go to someone else. Michelle. Is that a student, Michelle? Is Michelle there? No? Okay, how about Annie? Annie, are you there? I can't hear you. Is that Annie? Okay, let's go with Jacob. Jacob, are you there? Jacob, those that survive. No, Jacob? Can you unmute? I can't see everyone on the screen, so I don't know if you're still there. No, Jacob? Okay, Peter? Peter, those that survive? Is Peter there? No, Peter?
I could read if you want.
Well, who's that?
Lily?
Lily?
Yeah.
Okay, Lily. Do I have okay, I don't have that. Is it Lily?
Yeah.
Okay, Lily, I didn't have your name down here. You must have joined later. Okay, go ahead, Lily.
Those that survive must learn from the pandemic. Until now, most of them, especially the ones at the top of the market, have resisted putting undergraduate courses online. That is not because remote teaching is necessarily bad. A third of graduate students were studying fully online last year, but because a 3 or 4 year degree on campus was universities and students' idea of what an undergraduate education should look like. Demand for the services of universities was so intense that they had no need to change.
Okay, thanks, Lily. And thanks for volunteering. I didn't see all the names there. So they've resisted putting university courses online. So in the past, there was a resistance to do that. Well, now things have changed. People realized, you can do online training, and more people will have to do it. But obviously, some are being forced to do it because it's the only way they can do it, right? Okay, thanks, Lily. Now, is there anyone, I don't have all the names here, is there anyone who hasn't read yet who can read now? Because I can't see all the names, so tell me who hasn't read yet that's ready to read.
I can.
Who's that?
I can.
Okay, who's that?
Michael. Cosmo.
Michael. Okay,
Cosmo.
Michael. Okay, go ahead, Michael. Now change.
Now change is being forced upon. Now change is being forced upon them. The college crisis in Davidson College says that less than 1/4 of American universities are likely to teach mostly or wholly in person. If that persisted, will reduce the demand. Many students buy the university not just to boost their earning capacity, but also to get away from their parents, make friends, and find purpose. But it should also cut costs by making students the option of living at home while studying.
Okay, so COVID-19 means change is being forced upon them. The universities didn't do a lot of online. Now they're forced. They have to do some online teaching, okay? Less than 1/4 of American universities are likely to teach mostly or wholly in person. So less than 1/4 of universities are going to have in-person teaching. And I think that may even go down as the virus spreads in the US. If that persists, it will reduce demand. Now, why do students like the university experience? Now, note this because it's one of the homework questions. Why do they like it? Not just to boost their earning capacity, right? Because you're going to earn more if you go to university, but to get away from their parents. Now, I don't know if you guys feel that way, but some students want to go away to universities just to get away from their parents. Also, make friends and find partners. That's another reason to go to universities. So those are all reasons why people want to go away to universities. It should also cut costs, giving students the option of living at home while studying. So that's if they work from home and they do online, that will cut the costs. Okay. All right. Anyone else that I have not called upon yet?
I didn't read yet.
Okay, what's your name?
Cosmo.
Cosmo. Okay, I didn't see you at the beginning, so let me write your name down. Cosmo. Okay, Cosmo, back to the mortarboard. COVID-19?
COVID-19 is catalyzing innovation too. The Big Ten Academic Alliance, a group of Midwestern universities, is offering many of its 600,000 students the opportunity to take online courses at other universities in the group. There's a huge scope for using digital technology to improve education. Poor in-person lectures could be replaced by online ones from the best in the world, freeing up time for the small group teaching which students value most.
Right, okay. Thanks, Cosmo. Okay, so COVID-19 is catalyzing innovation. Have you ever heard the word catalyst? Do you know what a catalyst is, Cosmo?
It means like starting.
Yeah, a catalyst. You think of it in science, a catalyst is like an enzyme that changes something. So here, that's the verb. It's catalyzing innovation. So it's making innovation. So whereas COVID-19 may be looked on as a bad thing, it's causing innovation too. So what it's doing, the Big Ten are offering online courses at other universities in the group. There's a huge scope for using digital technology to improve education. So the important point here is you could have had poor in-person lectures, but that could be replaced by online courses from the best in the world. so you can learn online from some of the best university professors in the whole world. That's one of the big advantages, potentially, of online courses, learning from the best university professors all over the world. Okay, so there can be good things that come out of this. Okay, thanks, Cosmo. Anyone else that has not read yet? No one else? Okay, I'm going to read the last paragraph, and then we'll go to the
Anthony,
Someone else?
Anthony can read it. Anthony's online, your student Anthony.
Oh, Anthony. Okay, Anthony. Okay, you get to read the last paragraph, Anthony. Anthony, did you unmute?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Universities?
Universities are rightly proud of the century-old traditions, but their ancient pedigrees have too often been used to an excuse for resisting change. If COVID-19 shakes them out of their complacency, some good may yet come from this disaster.
Right. Okay. So universities are proud of their century-old traditions. They've existed for many years. Their ancient pedigrees, the way they were, the way they've been successful through the years. That's sometimes an excuse for resisting change. So because universities think they've been successful all these years, they're resistant to making changes. But because of COVID-19, that will shake them out of their complacency. So when you're complacent, it means, do you know what that means if you're complacent, Anthony?
Maybe like you're set on something and you want to keep it that way?
Yeah, you're complacent. You're like the way the things were and you don't want to change things. You're complacent. Let's leave things the way they are. But now, because of COVID-19, they can't leave things the way they are. They have to change. Universities are going to have to change. They're going to have to move to online courses and be more flexible. Maybe have courses with universities from other parts of the world. So the message is, some good may come from this disaster. Okay. So I hope you guys like that article. Let me just summarize it. It's talking about the absent student. So it means a lot of the students are now absent from universities. They couldn't come because the rules have changed. COVID-19 meant no in-person classes. So what does it meant? It meant more online courses, which could be a good thing because one of the advantages, you can learn from university professors from other parts of the world. So there's bad things about it because COVID-19 means you're restricted. You can't go to in-person class, but there may be some positive things with going online and learning from online courses. Okay, so let me show you the homework questions, and then I'm going to answer any questions you guys may have. So now that we've gone through the article, let's see if the questions become easy. Now, like I said, the questions, the answers to these are all in the article. You just have to find them. Traditionally, there was triumph of globalization. Pre-COVID-19, this would be the time of the year when airports were full of students going off to universities. What were the advantages of this for students and universities? So, of course, pre-COVID, there's a lot of advantages for students going to universities. There's two particular advantages that are mentioned in the article. So state those. 2, why is COVID-19 disastrous for universities? Well, we discussed a lot of the issues that are affecting universities and why it's disastrous, why it's bad for universities. 3, what are some of the things that governments are saying against university education? So governments, remember they talked about Donald Trump and other people are saying some things about university education that may not be so good. What are those things? Okay, 4, what does the article state are 3 reasons that students want the university experience? So there's 3 reasons that are mentioned why students will want to go to university. What were those reasons? Again, number 5, this is where part of the answer's in the article, but I'm looking for your opinion. What does the article state could be one of the main advantages in the future for universities to offer online training? What do you think of the future of online training? So you've done some online training. Is it good? I mean, I think for this course, online training works. For some other courses, it may not work as well. So I'm asking for your opinion there. Okay, so any questions?
Yes.
Okay, who's that? Tell me your name and what your question is.
Jerry.
Who is it, Jerry?
Yeah.
Jerry? Jerry, the Sarah sister, or the other Jerry?
The other Jerry.
Okay, Jerry.
So do we do the homework?
Well, okay, you'll discuss that with Michael. I think what we're going to do is whoever's going to enroll in the course, I suggest you do the homework. I can show you the website. I don't know if you've given access to the website or not. Maybe Michael can answer that question, but that's my suggestion. If you're going to enroll in the class, I suggest you do the homework, and then I can review it in the next class next week.
And I also have another question.
Okay.
If we want to do the homework, where do we find the article, and how do we like?
Okay, so that's on the website. So let me ask Michael, have we given access to the website to the people yet, or is it once they enroll, you give access to the website? Is that right, Michael?
Joel, let me answer it, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, Jerry is a very good question, Jerry. And as Joe said, all the questions, articles, homework, including reporting for future, that's only for the registered students, okay, Jerry? Once you register this class, moving forward, you'll get a Google Drive. We'll have Google Drive folders, shared folder with all the articles, homework, and the teachers marked homework feedbacks. So right now, today is only free trial class, and only if you registered. Okay, Jerry, you got it?
Okay.
Once your parents register class, and we start this weekend, another class next week, you can choose the time. Then we set up your email account, Google Drive, with all the information. And in terms of the homework, it's a very good question, Jerry, smart boy. The homework, every class for next 14 weeks till December, every week, once class, after class, you see the 5 questions, that's your homework. You're gonna take back, do it during the 1 week time before next class, second class starts. I believe Joe is like a 1 day or 2 days, right? 2 days before next class started, you have to upload the homework on the Google Drive, right, Joe? That's what we do.
Right. It's preferable if you do it, if you're in Canada, the night before. So if it's a Wednesday class, it's good if you upload it Tuesday night. I can review it Tuesday night. I mark it. I'll put your comments, put my comments on there. And usually whoever has done a good job, the best job, I'll have that person review their homework in class with everyone when we go over the homework.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Exactly. And every class, when start a new class, Joe will take you guys, review and walk through all the answers from your classmates, right? For the future class, right, Joe? So
right.
First 15 or even longer, the minutes, Joe will take the lead and share the answers with you guys from some students did a good job on those questions. Jerry, you got it, Jerry?
Yep.
Are you clear?
Mm-hmm.
You clear?
Yeah.
Okay, you like the class so far?
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Very good. Yeah, you're gonna learn a lot. Because today is for students a pandemic. Joe normally with the Economist magazine, if you ask the parents or Google search, that's a very popular magazine in the business world, the Economist. So there are so many articles. For example, Joe, you can name if you want. We did a summer camp. We did twice a week. You can give them some example. What type of articles you took the kids reading? Yeah.
Sure. We did a number of articles. Of course, as you can imagine, a lot of the articles mention COVID because COVID is a big issue today. But I've done the genius of Amazon. So we talked about Amazon, how it works. We've done article on vegetable growing, advertising. The next catastrophe was an article about potential future threats. Going home, which is an article about American troops in Germany. So all kinds of different articles that we've discussed. Topical articles, things that you would read in the news today, and I help you relate to how it affects us. So the focus is to help you with to learn the news and learn about the concept, and also with the words in English to help you with the English. Some of the words you'll know, some of them you may not know, and that's why I ask you to tell me if you know the meaning of the word, and if you don't, that's okay. I just explain the meaning of the word. So it's a learning experience for both the English and for the news.
Very good. I remember clearly, Joel. Excuse me. The last class, end of August, we read the Google and the GE, right?
Yeah.
right? There's even for myself as a business person, there's a lots of information and the lessons we can take from why GE is going a little bit downhill and Google becoming the #1 in the world, right?
Yeah, it related to two companies, and the challenges that they had were similar in some cases, relying on a strong division. Both of them relied on a strong division, and you could see parallels between the two companies. So it was interesting to learn about that. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I tried to do a very different articles to keep it interesting for you guys.
Very good. And at the end, also, one thing, Uncle Michael from Mentors, Jerry, Will, all you guys, Anthony, Pang, I'm so happy. Lyria, you guys all participant today, and really work with the teacher, learning this pandemic students article. But at the end of the day, this class, not as Teacher Joe said, not only comprehension reading to help you guys English literature, vocabulary, grammars, but also most important thing, because you guys are all like a young age, become a teenager, right? Like grade 7 or 8. Now this is the time, you guys are gonna grow up very soon. We always say, Joel always say, the word is yours in the future, right? We are getting too old, right? Teacher Joe is retired, Uncle Michael, yeah, mid-age, but the future is all you guys, right? Right? Will, Jerry, Sarah, Anthony, all yours. So this class, #1 thing, most important thing, to really open your eyes, right? From a vision standpoint, you can see what's going on in the whole world, especially this pandemic time, right? In the business world, in the politics, right, Joe? Politics, yes. Business world, many things are changing. You guys will be the future leader. So in the young age, actually, Uncle Michael really envy you guys. In the young age, you already start to explore yourself, to really get aware of what's happening in the world, to be the future leader. So that's the main thing, the meaningful, the value from this Time and Word reading class is very unique, special designed, geared for students like you guys want to be a leader for the future, like Elon Musk, right? Yeah. We read some article about SpaceX, right? Take the human to the Mars, right? Tesla. So you guys want to be next Elon Musk or even more creative. The word is yours. So this class will help you guys in the early age, the young age, to start to explore the whole new, exciting new future, new world. But one more thing, and before you guys have any other questions, as Jerry asked, so also don't worry, today the class is a public open class. It's a big classroom, over 20, almost 30 students, Joe. Yeah. And also some parents are here experiencing it. But in the future, moving forward, the real class, maximum only 10 students, maximum small class size. And you guys, so far from registration, probably gonna be 6-7 students per class. And you guys will have a more private time, more individual time with Teacher Joe to share your opinion, asking questions, reading articles, okay? So be more interactive for you guys for the future real class. Right, that's all I'm gonna add. Joe, last question to you. I ask on behalf of some parents. Parents want to know, because the fall season is 14 weeks. The class will be 1.5 hour long, right?
1.5 hours, yes.
Yeah. Any structure change? You're gonna add more like a discussion time? What's gonna change?
Yeah, I think we'll have more time for discussion, because the hour when we did an hour, we got through the article and asked questions. But I'm going to have more time for discussion, and I think that'll be important. Asking for your opinion, I'll give you my opinion more, and you can give your opinion more. So we'll have more discussion time. We'll get through the article. We'll answer the questions of what the words mean and what the concept means. But we'll have more discussion time. I think that'll be the advantage of the extra half hour.
Very good. Actually, for this type of magazine or this very insightful articles, give students more time. They can follow your experience and really get the in-depth, the deep side of these articles, right? What really give them instead of only reading the paragraph. Very good. That's a future. By the way, Joe, future we're gonna add more articles from Time magazine, because I'm a big fan of Time magazine. Okay. If we can add more reading like successful people like Bill Gates, Jack Ma, those type of stories. The Rock, those type of stories, that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Okay, yeah, we did a Nancy Pelosi article from Time. That was interesting, yeah.
Right. So hopefully we can add more Time magazine. Some parents and students really want to learn or read those successful, the global leaders or heroes or business successful persons, right?
Okay.
Good stuff. Any other questions, guys, before we end today 12 class? I think you guys still not want to leave. Still 26 people here.
So I hope to see most of you. So the next class would be what, Wednesday at 4? Is that right?
Sunday. So for now, parents have different time, right? We're still gonna give a try for 2 different class. Sunday morning 9 o'clock Saturday morning. September 12th, Saturday morning. That's first class, 9 o'clock.
Oh, so that is the first class, September 12th, this Saturday?
Yeah,
okay.
12th. Yeah. Next week, Wednesday night. That's the second class.
What time is that?
I'll double check. I believe
4 o'clock, I think.
No, it's a Wednesday. Give me a second, Joe.
Okay.
Let me check. But the thing is, we depend on registration. We may combine to 1 class, but let's start Saturday first. Okay. Your class make 2 because summer is a very busy class. Wednesday is 6:30 to 8.
6:30 to 8. Okay.
Yeah, that's first class. Saturday, actually second class, but we start this weekend, Saturday, 9 to 10:30, 9 a.m. to 10:30. Okay.
Okay. So the first class is this Saturday, and then Wednesday at 6:30. Okay.
Yeah, 6 to 8. 1.5 hour every single class once a week. We'll give a try first, and to see the first 2 classroom what status look like.
Sorry. So September 12th, is that another trial class?
No, it's real class.
Real class. Okay, so I'll have a new article for September 12th.
Yeah,
okay.
So far I have a few students registered, including Anthony, Charlie, they all come back.
Okay.
Right, some are returning students, and we're recruiting, still adding more students in. And depending on how many that day, we may have a couple of new trials, depends. But that's good also for you guys to know, right? Jerry, Sarah, Will, all you guys, Pom, Jerry, you guys, if you guys interested, want to continue learning, reading this, very knowledgeable and insightful articles with teacher Joel, definitely ask your parents, contact us, mentors. You guys can start, the amazing journey learning economics Time magazine from this weekend, Saturday, or next week, Wednesday, depending on time availability. Okay. For Will, I know it'll be tough because Saturday morning, 9 o'clock Toronto time. That's your 6 o'clock, 6 in the morning in Vancouver, right, Will? Don't worry, Will. I know your mama looking to Wednesday night time for you.
Oh, Will, so you're in West China, is that it?
No, he's in Vancouver.
Oh, Vancouver. Oh, 6 o'clock. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so Wednesday night's class will be good for you. Okay, Will?
Okay, I'm fine. No problem.
Yeah, very good. Okay.
Thank you.